Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. It's been a hot while since I've uploaded or made a video, and I'm not too sure why that is, to be completely honest. But I'm back now anyway, and as you can see, there's not that many lights. There's like the natural light coming through the window. The windows are all open because if you haven't heard, I don't know how you haven't heard, there's currently a heat wave going on in the UK, and we're just not built for that. And so it's exactly 24 degrees today, like as of right now, and it is to get to 25 degrees, which it's just too much. But it is supposed to rain like the whole of next week, so a lot of people are going to be a bit happy about that. Some people are going to be a bit annoyed by that, but that's not what this video is about. It's not about the weather. I haven't turned into a weather channel. As you can see from the title, it's going to be tips for beginning photography or beginners photography. And it's just a few tips and tricks that I feel would benefit anyone starting to get into photography and starting the whole journey of photography. So the first tip I would give would be not to spend too much time picking out a camera. I know that a lot of people will ask on Reddit, Facebook, whatever it is, what is the best camera to get, and that in of itself is a bit of a ridiculous question, mainly due to the fact that different cameras have different uses, and you might need a crop sensor camera, you might want a full frame camera, and a full frame just means that the sensor inside the camera is much larger, so your photo can be a lot larger. It all depends on what you want. If you are starting out, I would just go for a budget level DSLR, get it second hand. It doesn't have to be the most new one on the market. Like, I'm still shooting with a 3300. I consider myself to be a professional, and so gear's not like a major issue. Always keep in mind that it's more to do with the glass that you put on or the lenses that you put on the body than it is that the actual body itself. Another tip I would give is it might be daunting to hear about the whole RAW versus JPEG thing. There is settings in the camera that you will be able to shoot both RAW plus a JPEG, and all that RAW is the raw information that's captured through a photo, and you can just there's more information to play about with, but you do need certain software to open those files, and that would be Lightroom, Photoshop, or like Snapseed or something like that. A JPEG you can edit on your phone, you can edit in sort of anything really, and it's just easier to use. But always keep the raw files, because you don't know, years down the line when you look back and you think, I could have done that better, I could have done that better, you can go back to your raw file and edit from there. Because if you keep editing a JPEG file and closing it, opening it and saving changes, it's going to destroy that file, and that's one of the major downsides of a JPEG. Another tip is, after every photo session that you do, make sure that you back up everything, and I mean everything. Once everything is backed up to a drive or backed up onto your computer, make copies of your backups. So backups of your backups. For instance, I have all my photos stored on an external hard drive. I have them stored on the cloud with Adobe. I have them backed up to a Google Drive, a OneDrive, and a memory pen, so just in case I ever lose any of the photos, and that's why I do that. It's just a good sort of practice to have. And when you do finish, backing up your folders, backing up your files, everything, format your memory card. I've heard it's a healthier thing to do for the memory card, I don't know, but it's always worked for me. I've only ever had one card fail on me, and it is the most heart-wrenching moment that you will ever have halfway through the shoot, and you see that dreaded photo or that dreaded text appear on your screen that it is damaged or corrupted. It is horrible, and you have to format the card. Another sort of big tip that I have is cleaning your gear. I know it's like a very simplistic thing to do, and it's a very sort of no-brainer to do, but you'd be shocked how many people don't actually clean their gear. So get like a microfiber cloth, get a cleaning kit off Amazon, which I've talked about in one of my previous videos. If you want to check it out, it's somewhere up around here. They're £28-30. They come with sensor swabs, they come with cleaning solution, everything that you will ever need for cleaning out your camera. And it's just to make sure that you have like clean, clear photos with no dust marks or anything, because they're an absolute pain to get rid of in post-processing. When you're starting out photography, don't be afraid to go up to people as well and ask if they want a photo done. It's sort of something I'm still sort of dealing with now, but it's a good thing to do to get like that kind of portfolio built up, and it's free. And in worst case scenario they say no, best case scenario they say yes, and that leads to them telling other people and you getting recognized a bit more. So don't be afraid to take out your camera and just ask someone in public, do you mind if I take this photo of you? Or do you mind if it's a couple? Do you guys want a free photo shoot? If you can get that like under your thumb, then you're pretty golden in that area, and it does build your confidence up a good bit. Another tip is try and get out of automatic mode as soon as possible, because automatic mode is good for when you're beginning, but take it in steps. So go out of auto mode, because you're going to get sort of flat photos with that, and they're not the greatest photos. Even try going on to shutter priority, aperture priority, and you will see a dramatic difference in your photos. And once you feel confident enough, go full manual and you just unlock everything, and you can play about with your ISO, your shutter speed and your aperture, and it makes the world of a difference once you actually get into that. And that's something that I would say get into as soon as you can. The longer you spend in automatic, the more opportunities that you're going to miss, especially if you're not shooting RAW, like I've talked about at the beginning of the video, to always shoot in RAW. Another tip is to look up like the rules of photography, so like the rules of third, or the golden ratio. It just makes your photo a bit more appealing than everything being like bang in the center. Even try and get like your subject like off to one of the sides to make it easier. Put the grid line on the back of your camera and just play about with it, it can be very creative, so it can be. So I would highly recommend looking up the rules of photography and trying to stick within them. Another big one is don't buy cheap SD cards. All it's going to do is cost you money and cost you time. If you buy a cheap SD card, you more than likely are going to see corrupted files and damaged files. Spring the little bit of extra money and buy something like a SanDisk or like a well-known branded SD card name. It will last you forever, and the only time you'll need to switch them out is if you need to get a bigger SD card. And I would always recommend getting 2 or 3 SD cards along with 2 or 3 batteries for your camera, because you might forget to charge the battery and you might forget to format an SD card, so you always have backups of everything. And that's one of the biggest tips I can give, is make sure all of your batteries are charged, make sure all your SD cards are okay to go, and don't forget any of them. I've forgotten SD cards going out onto a shoot before, and it is absolutely the worst feeling in the world. Another tip is definitely practice every single day, and the more you practice, the more you're going to feel comfortable with doing photography. And another tip is, and I'm guilty of it myself, at the very beginning, when I started doing photography, I always compared myself to other people I've seen on Instagram or Facebook, and it's something that's not healthy. And I would honestly say don't be doing anything like that. Don't compare yourself to like professionals who have years of experience in that field, or they have thousands of pounds worth of equipment like that's just not going to do anything for you. Instead, stick to getting yourself better at photography. Join photography groups, join local clubs, and share your work as much as you possibly can. Most of all, at the end of the day, the biggest tip that I can give you for starting out doing photography and getting into this world is simply to just have fun. Have fun with it, and if you make a mistake, so what? It's all about the experience, and it's all about the journey of it, and it is just to have fun, and that's the biggest thing. If you love something, you're going to enjoy it, and it's never going to feel like work. So enjoy taking photography to another level. I'm planning to do a couple of videos maybe on tips about different types of photography, tips and tricks for things like nature photography, portrait photography, astro photography. If there's anything that you guys want to see more about, or if you guys want to know anything about photography, just leave it in the comment section below and I will take a look at it and probably make another video on it. But that's everything that I wanted to say. It was a sort of short-ish video, I think. I'm hoping that I can get back to regular sort of uploads. At least I'm hoping so. I was planning to make these all yesterday, and I had forgotten my SD card and I had forgotten my lens and I couldn't do it. So that's why I didn't do it yesterday. But that's all from me for today, and as always, if you did like this video, just give it a thumbs up because it does help me out quite a bit. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the little bell notification for notifications for the future or when I upload. And tell everyone about the channel if you think that they will be interested in it. And as always, just have a fantastic day.